The story is set in the year 1972, during which time two children engage in play. Suddenly, their marble ball falls from their hands and lands on the floor of another flat. When the children go inside the flat and pick up the marble ball, a woman in white clothes falls from the chair. Actually, she had died a long time ago. 4 years after all this, a family has shifted to the same old woman's flat, who has taken a loan from bank to buy this flat. To pay off the bank loan, both husband and wife used to go to work, and Amparo used to stay at home behind them. She is the elder daughter of this couple, who used to stay at home and take care of her younger brother Rafal and her grandfather. Now she was getting her brother changed clothes. Suddenly the grandfather sitting next to her disappears. In fear, she leaves her brother and starts looking for her grandfather. Grandfather was in the washroom at that time. Seeing him, Amparo follows him into the washroom, where all the windows abruptly shut. She shouts loudly and calls her mom and dad. Her mom and dad open the door and take her out, and then go to Rafal's room where he was swinging from the window. If Rafal had fallen, he would certainly not have survived. His dad, while keeping his wife quiet, quickly goes and grabs Rafal and brings him to the room and then starts scolding Amparo. Amparo tells her that grandfather had disappeared in a strange way here. Then suddenly the door of the washroom closed, and when I looked from below, I saw a devil's foot below. Amparo's mom and dad don't listen to her nonsense and scold her and leave from here. The scene cuts and we are shown to Amparo's other brother, who has found a letter on the railing attached to the other building at the window of his room. A girl's name was written on this letter. Amparo's brother thinks that maybe this girl wants to befriend him. He also writes his name and puts it on the railing and reaches the other building, but for a long time he stands in the wait of that girl who will take this letter. When he gets tired and is on that side, he starts hearing the sound from the railing again. When he sees, there was another letter lying there. While on the other side, Rafal was drawing in his room, and this time, Amparo's grandfather leaves the house again. Before going to find her grandfather, she told Rafal not to move from here, but as he leaves, Rafal hears the sound of a marble ball, which was lying very close to his room. As Rafal picks up this marble ball, he hears the sound of the TV from his other room. An old cartoon was calling him on the TV. Poor Rafal doesn't understand anything. As he gets close to the TV, a ghost comes out of the TV and pulls him inside. Here it is shown that Amparo meets his grandfather while roaming on the road. When she comes home with him, his grandfather says, "No, I won't go there, the woman there will kill us all." Amparo forcefully comes home with him, but when he came home, he couldn't find Rafal anywhere. They report it to the police in fear. After that, Amparo's parents had also gone out to find Rafal. Now Amparo was alone at home, and then she hears a phone call. When Amparo picks up the phone, Rafal was on the other side of the phone. She asks Rafal, "Where are you?" But he didn't even know where he was. While talking on the phone, Amparo hears Rafal's voice coming from a flat nearby. She leaves the phone and quickly goes to the flat and starts knocking it hard. Then another man living in this building comes and tells Amparo that this flat has not been open for years. Amparo's mom, dad, and her brother had also come here. She tells them that I hear Rafal's voice coming from here. These people open the lock of this flat and go inside it. While looking for Rafal, Amparo came to a room in this flat where she saw a shadow of a small child behind the curtain. As she went closer to the shadow got bigger. As Amparo removes the curtain, a witch was standing there. She was scared to see her long hairs and starts screaming loudly. Amparo's family comes here and tries to silence her, and when her dad looks behind the window, there was no one. The next day, he wants to show us that Amparo's mom was at work, and here, a paralyzed woman comes to the shop as a customer, who saw Amparo's mom and started whistling. Amparo's mom feels a little weird. She goes near her and tries to talk to that woman, and then the woman's mom also comes here, who tells her that my daughter can't speak. This paralyzed woman explains something to her mom. She actually knew everything that was going on in Amparo's house after seeing Amparo's mom. That's why this paralyzed woman's mom gives a card to Amparo's mom and says, "Keep it with you forever. It will help you." On the other side in the house, today again, Amparo's elder brother has a letter from the other building. He looks at the window of the other building, there was no one. He decides to go to the building in front and check who is writing him these letters. As this boy goes to the other building, a girl hugs him from behind. The girl had a candle in his hand and a mirror in front of him. When this boy tries to look at this girl in the mirror, he finds out that this girl's feet are twisted. At the same time, this witch tries to kill this boy, but he shows a lot of smartness, picks up this witch and throws her away and runs away from here, saving his life. At the same time, Amparo was also having a stomachache at home. When she checks her stomach, there were a lot of marks on her stomach. She doesn't bother much about these marks and thinks it's an allergy. She had brought some vegetables now. When she wants to keep it in the kitchen, she sees from the kitchen door that a strange creature is making something in her kitchen. She quickly opens the door and finds out that this is her grandfather. When she goes inside and talks to her grandfather was now talking to her in the voice of her younger brother, Rafael. At the same time, he rings the phone again. When Amparo picks up the phone again, she hears Rafael's voice. As before, while talking to Rafael, she heard Rafael's voice coming from a flat nearby. She leaves the phone and quickly opens the door of the flat, and finally, she found her brother in the same flat. Now the whole family was scared of this strange incident. Rafael and Amparo's mother tells her husband that we will not stay here anymore. We will leave this house and go somewhere else. This man says, "No, we have taken a lot of bank loans to buy this house, we cannot leave it." It was night. As Amparo enters her room, all the doors of her room suddenly close. Even the light of her room went off. She screams loudly. As her parents come to this room, they see a very big scary hand of a ghost that was moving towards Amparo. Her dad saves Amparo and moves her away, and after seeing this, they finally believed that there is a ghost in their house. Now they were not going to live in this house at all. Rafael and Amparo's dad take them all to a hotel, and they spend the whole night praying that they get rid of this spirit that is living in their house. The next day, Amparo's parents call by the bank and were told that they will have to return the bank loan as soon as possible to arrange the money. Amparo's dad calls his friends, but the money is not arranged from anywhere. He has not been to the office for the past 2 days, so he was also fired from the job. Tired, now Amparo's mom goes to the house of the paralyzed lady whose mom had given her a card. She tells her about everything that is happening in her house. These ladies say, "We already knew about everything that was going to happen in your house." They come here to see their house, while now Amparo had also gone to meet the people living in his house. This woman says, "When we lived in that house, I had a whole family, my son, my husband, but we did not know that my son is a transgender. Despite being a boy, he was fond of becoming a girl. In this anger, his dad always locked that girl in the basement, but over time, the boy's habits did not change. He started behaving like a woman. His son was fond of becoming a mother, and that's why she locked that boy there and came here, and that boy died there in agony, and since then his soul has been wandering there." It is revealed here that to fulfill her desire to become a mother, she used to write letters to Amparo's brother and call him to her, and even after getting a chance twice, he did not kill Amparo because Amparo was pregnant. After knowing all this, Amparo immediately comes home, where her mother had brought that paralyzed lady. That soul takes over the body of this paralyzed lady and attacks her to kill them all, and then Amparo takes a piece of glass and threatens her that if you do not leave us all, I will kill this child. Hearing this, that soul gets a little relaxed, and Amparo says again, "If you do not leave us all, I will kill this child. I know you want to take this child." This ghost or soul was now emotional. When the opportunity comes, Amparo's dad climbs on top of him and moves down from the window. Due to it, he dies, but the ghost still does not die. After his death, all the money from his life insurance is given to his wife, that is, Amparo's mother. With that money, after paying the bank